Hey YouTube, how's it going? KSO Dragons here, bringing you my Earth Dozer control deck. It's obviously got quite a few different names: Earth Toolbox, Infinitrack Trains. There's a bit of an amalgamation of all it, the Machina as well. So yeah, Earth Toolbox probably best name for it. So yeah, just wanted to bring you my deck profile that I've put together for it. Not too crazy dissimilar to maybe what you've seen from other deck profiles. Got a couple of own personal tech choices in there. And I'm just going to take you through the deck profile by sort of engine, so you can get an idea of how this deck works and what's sort of good about it. So to start off, I'm going to start off with the Infinitrack stuff. So I've got 3 Harvester, then I've got 3 Infinitrack Dozer, I've got 2 Infinitrack Trencher, then I have 1 Drill, 1 Tunneler, and then your 3 heavy forward. So this is the Infinitrack package. So in this alone, this is the package that helps start all your combos and try and get into your plays. Harvester, when you normal summon it or special summon it, you'll get a search, and most of the time you'll search for your Brutal Dozer. It's actually a good way to bait out an Ash early as well. So if you summon this and you've already got Dozer in hand, you can try and get the Ash out the way and then just carry on with your combos from there. Heavy forwards also your rotor, so it's a nice search, and then it's got a nice other effect where it can attach itself to an XYZ monster as well, which is actually really good. Trencher is your special summon back from graveyard, so you banish it from your graveyard to special summon back. Anchor Drill, you normal summon, special summon it, and you can special summon one from your hand as well, which is really good, really useful to start your combos as well. And Tunneler is probably a bit more the insane one, which is you banish it from your graveyard and it's like a pot of avarice, so you put 5 cards back into your deck and then you draw 2. So the whole point of this kind of package to use the Tunneler is to thin out your deck as much as you can, put back most of your extra deck, and then draw more into your deck to find out your disruption cards, and that way you set up your turn 1 setup. So that's sort of this package and how that works. The actual cool thing with Anchor Drill and Harvester is that they have level modulation effects as well. So you can target another card on the field. So for example, let's say you got drawn Brutal Dozer, then both cards will become the sum of their levels. So for example, this is 4, this is 5, so they'll both become level 9, and then you can do a rank exes that way. Harvester's quite cool with a rank 10, because then it means you can go into a rank 12s, which is quite cool, and you'll see that in the extra deck. So yeah, that's the Infinitrack package. Pretty standard. You wouldn't really see like too many different ratios between other people's deck profiles. Maybe they make a Harvester because you have so many ways to search your starters, but yeah. Next I'm going to take you through the Machina stuff. So 1 Machina Uniclips Bear, I hope I pronounced that correctly. 1 Machina Fortress, 2 Machina Metal Cruncher, 1 Citadel, and then you've got 3 Deployment and 2 Overdrive. So this sort of engine helps with the more control aspect of the deck as well, because Citadel is such a crazy card. Like, it recurs itself really well, and then obviously the effect to like nuke the field based on the monster you destroy is just really good, and like that's continuous, and it will keep kind of recurring himself as well. Machina Fortress as well is not once per turn, so you can constantly keep summoning it back to your field with its effect. You just need to tribute the right number of monsters level in your hand to bring it back, and because you play a lot of high level cards, it's actually quite easy to do. So yeah, just really good card. And then Machina Overdrive, which is the trap card, bit of insane as well. You know, you tribute 1 machine monster on your field, you can special summon a Machina monster you control from your hand or your deck. So, you know, if you don't have the Citadel set up, you know, you can summon it out, but if you do, then you summon out a different Machina monster, and then when it's in your graveyard, you can banish it to like draw an extra card as well, which is just really good. So really good cards. Machina Redeployment, also your rotor, you discard 1 to go and search. If you discard a Machina card, you can find 2 Machina cards, one of the monsters. So really good engine. This is definitely the more control aspect of the deck as well, so very good. Most people actually play 3 Machina Metal Cruncher. The only reason I don't is because I don't like to depend on it as the normal summon. I'd rather use like the Infinitrack package to start first. but it is a nice like option if you don't have it in your hand. But yeah, I'll personally just play 2. So the next package I got is the train package. So I'll play 1 Super Express Bullet Train, 3 Heavy Freight Train Dora Crane, and then kind of the search. So terraforming, the reason I put it this is because I play 2 Switchyards still, and I've got the 3 Urgent Schedule. So smaller train package. I've actually seen a lot of decks cut Urgent Schedule. I personally really like it. Just, you know, way to get 2 monsters on the field. You know, it's a quick play, you can do it in your opponent's turn as well, so just really handy. I play 3 Direct Train, 1 Bullet because I really want to try and open one of the trains in my hand when I start my combos, because you need that level 10 in your hand when you do that opening combo, and then most of the time with River Stormer you'll search out your Bullet Train. So, you know, I kind of want Direct Train to be in my hand, and if it's not, then hopefully I can use Switchyard to then get another level 10 in my hand. So that's why I sort of still play this package the way it is. Whereas I've seen a lot of deck profiles that actually cut the Urgent Schedule and the Revolving Switchyard. You can do, it's your personal choice, but you know, the way I've built the deck and the way I play, I just prefer to have it in hand. You know, maybe as I go along I might decide to cut it, but you know, as I said, this is my personal preference. So, but it's up to you. You know, I actually play a 45 card deck, so if you find you don't want it, feel free to cut them out. Next I'll go into sort of more utility type cards. So you got the 1 Ancient Gearbox, really good effect. Add it to your hand either through your deck or your graveyard, and then you can add a machine monster that has either 500 attack or defense. So a lot of your targets actually they're Infinitrack monsters, so it's gonna be like Trencher or Tunneler or even Anchor Drill. So it's just a good way to re-add to your hand. Next one, I actually play the the Goldilocks, the Battle Landscaper. It's a level 10 train. This is just such a nutty card. Literally no one plays it, but I really like its effects. So when it is summoned, if it's not summoned in the central column, it will destroy itself. But effectively what it is, you bring it out, and you can bring it out through like Ankle Knuckle, Urgent Schedule, Ankle Drill. You know, you've got ways to bring this card out very easily. But basically you summon it out to the middle, so then it doesn't go. But then it has an effect where it moves itself like through the columns. So what happens is if you move, say, from the middle to the right, it will destroy everything in the columns from where it's been to where it goes, and everything in between. It's such an insane board wipe, and it's just such, yeah, I just think it's insane. It's a level 10, like, why would you not play it? Like, this is my own personal tech choice. Easy side out card, like easy cut board if I want to bring the deck down, but I just think it's a nuts card, so why not play it? And then sort of more generic, just hand traps. Play 3 Ash, sort of one of the best hand traps around. Very generic, easy side out, you know, if you want to play something else. But yeah, that's just that. And then moving on to then the last bit of the deck profile, which is the traps. These are, once again, your own personal choice. You can change these very easily. You can cut them down, increase them. It is purely up to you. But I play 1 Skill Train because you have so many high level attack cards in the deck that if you play Skill Drain and your opponent doesn't have an out for it, like, they're not going to beat over my monsters. I'm just always going to be able to attack over them, and it makes the game state really simplified as well. So I think it's a good option. I play 2 Gozer Match. Nearly everything in here is an Earth type, so good card, nice little floodgate. You could swap it for Rivalry if you want, but as I said, it's your own personal choice. I play 2 Strike and then 2 EMR. So this is the new one that came out in Blazing Vortex. You tribute an Earth, well, if you tribute a machine monster, sorry, then for every 1,000 attack it had, it will destroy that many cards on the field. So because a lot of my machine monsters generally have high attack, you're going to destroy basically between 2 to 3 cards. So if you got this and like a Skill Drain, and it's a simplified game state, this is just another way to remove extra cards off the field. Or if you really need to get rid of your own Skill Drain, you could do that as well, but it's just an option. So yeah, these are just the traps I play. As I said, it is your own personal choice. You can change these around. These are just kind of where I've landed with the deck. And then just gonna go through the extra deck really quickly. So I play 3 Infinitrack Goliath. A really good card, link 1 any Infinitrack monster to make it. So, and the reason you play 3 is you want to go all 3 in your first turn because you just want to load up your graveyard. And these are your targets with your tunneler to send back. And then for the rest of the links, I play 1 Ancient Gear Ballista and 1 Double Head Ankle Knuckle. So this is your turn 1 board that you want to make. You really want to bring this card out because this is what allows you to recur your level 10s over and over. So this is definitely the card you want to bring out. Ballista is your search for your 18 gearbox. Now I said the level 1s are just for you to kind of just go through. And then onto the XYZs, I actually play 2 Riverstormer, 1 Dingrisu, 1 Earth Slicer, 2 Superdoras, 1 Gustav, 1 Libe, 1 AA Zeus, and 1 The 7 Sins. So the 7 Sins, the Dingrisu, and maybe the Zeus, like they're optional, like it's up to you if you want to play them. But normally the Dora, the Gustav, and the Libe like are sort of mandatory for this type of deck. Because in your turn 1 board, you kind of want to aim for a Knuckle and a Dora. You know, 4,000 defense, you can make it unaffected by card effects or any of your cards, but just really good effect. And the Ankle Knuckle sets up all your recursion. I like playing the 7 Sins because you can make it with Harvester and any level 10. And just the effect to banish any special summon monsters, which I think is quite powerful in the game when you especially think about types of decks that you're playing where they have a lot of recursion from the graveyard, like Eldritch, the Dogmata, the Servant can add back from the graveyard. Dragon Link, like they can use the Recharger effect to summon back something from the graveyard as well. Or World Legacy, Guard Dragon, like it's just good to be able to banish them, which probably messes up those decks a bit more because then they can't recur as well. So this is why I like playing him as option, whereas Zeus is obviously a good option because you get the whole board white, but like you can make both really easily. So this just gives you that option of a different play style if you need it. So yeah, that's the deck. What I'm gonna do is just a quick test hand to show you how the deck works, and we'll go from there. Cool, so just giving the deck a good shuffle. So let's see how these test hands go. Hopefully I'll show you what like a good turn 1 board you can actually build, and maybe some disruptions you can play through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. 1 more. Cool. So this is a pretty good hand. So we've got a combo starter, an extender, another extender, and a disruption, and a double of Harvester. So if we need to, we can send it. So as I said, you normal summon your Harvester. Try and bait out an Ash. So we're just going to assume our opponent's Ashes us, so we don't actually get the effect to search. And then we're going to tribute it off. So we've played through 1 disruption so far. And we're going to summon out our Dozer. Dozer's effect will get us our Trencher. I won't bother keep shuffling, just I'll do it when we're about to draw. And we're actually going to overlay these into our Riverstormer. We've got 1 level 10 in our hand, our Super Bullet Train, so we actually want to try and get one of the Derek Trains. So we're going to detach to search. And we're going to add our Derek Train to our hand. So as you do search a lot with this deck, you do have to keep an eye out for drawing Lockbird. That is got to be a killer. But if that's the case, you just want to kind of end on like one of the high-ranking XYZ monsters to survive that turn. So it could be that you just hard make a Superdora, or even Dingesu. Like if you don't have any other choices, you know, personally you want to go for that afterwards. But you know, if you don't have any choice, like that's what you're going to end on. So anyway, we've done that. We're going to link this off now for our first Infinitrack Goliath. And then we're going to use Trench's effect in the graveyard. We'll banish it. And we'll summon back our Dozer. You could link it off again for another link 1 before you go into Ballista. But let's just do that anyway. So we link those 2 off. And now we'll link these two off into our ballista, which is just two Earth Machine monsters. Use his effect, and I'll add the box. Find the box. There you go. And then box effect, you get to add another monster effectively, but it has to have either 500 attack or defense. So this is where we'll get our tunneler, which basically has 500 defense. Okay. Then we can use tunneler's effect. I will trigger off our ballista to summon our Infinitrack tunneler, and then we'll actually train Durocrane because an Earth Machine monster was summoned, so we can summon him out. Then we can link him off for our other link one. Then link both of these off for our ankle knuckle. So we've got tunneler in our graveyard. We've filled up our graveyard quite a bit with a lot of extra deck monsters, so now we're kind of ready to send it back. So personally, from here, it's up to you how you do this, but I'd actually discard my H and Gearbox first to bring back my Dirt Train, and then I'll use Tunneler's effect. So banish it, and then basically put back 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that way, the only things in my graveyard is the River Stormer, which I can use to bring out in tribute, the Harvester and the Brutal Dozer. But these 5 basically go back to the extra deck. So now we'll give it a shuffle so we can see what kind of draw we get. And basically this is where you're hoping, because you've deck fend a bit, you just want to draw into some trap cards, which then give you a bit more disruption on your opponent's turn. Cool. Give it a quick cut. Okay, we draw 1, 2. Cool, so actually that's not too bad. We've got an urgent schedule and a Dozer match, so we can sort of floodgate our opponent and have a way to summon more monsters for ourselves if we need to. So it's not the worst ones to bring out. The only problem at the moment is we've got no sure way to bring Citadel into our graveyard, which is like one of the things we want to do. So, but we can use urgent schedule to at least bring Citadel out. Then if it is destroyed, we can use Ankle and Knuckle to send it off from the field, bring out another level 10 from the graveyard. So with that said, we'll now summon out Bullet Train as all the monsters who control our Earth Machine. We can XYZ into our door. And then we can set these two. So we've still got 2 cards in our hand. We've got an Ash for another disruption. We've got a Dozer match for Floodgate, Urgent Schedule to summon out. And then we can use Ankle Knuckle to work that effect. So let's say we're playing Dragon Link, for example. So we've played through any disruption that try to do this before the turn starts. So in our end phase, what we'll actually do is we'll detach our Bullet Train, and then in our end phase, because Bullet Train's in the graveyard, we actually get to add back. So we're going to add back our Brutal Dozer because we have a Harvester in our hand, so we don't really need another one. So now we've got 3 resources in our hand again. Then on my opponent's turn, I can still detach Durocrane from Super Door to activate its effect to get another pop on the field, which is good. I can activate Dozer match. Let's say they go into Heavenly Spheres, I can activate Dozer match then, because then they're trapped into lights. Most of the extra deck is dark, so then they're sort of stuck in that attribute. I can then use Urgent Schedule as well on my opponent's turn to bring out a level 4 and a level 10. So with your level 4s, you've got 2 choices, well, a couple of choices, but you can either bring out your Ankle Drill if you want to bring it out. Citadel is definitely one of the targets I want to hit. The other one, you know, you could use the drill, but the drill is quite a good effect. So I'll probably actually summon out Machina, Uncle'scape. Then I can use Ankle Knuckles effect to send one from the field to bring out another level 10. And because Urgent Schedule negates those effects, well, this and Citadel when you bring them out, then because I've used Ankle Knuckle now I've got in the graveyard, if my opponent can then somehow still destroy one of my cards, I can then bring out Citadel and do the plays from there. So, you know, you can do more plays, and this is just quite the simple turn one setup, but it does give you quite a few disruptions. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 with Citadel. So it's good disruption, good board presence, and you set up your graveyard as well. Hope you enjoy the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. As I said, I'm going to keep playing with this deck. I will keep kind of modifying it, and I'll bring you some more test hands soon. Thank you very much for watching.